I just happened to run along for you.
See it?
Yeah, I got it.
You didn't give it to me upside down.
No, not this time.
One good thing, well, there are a couple of good things about having our Christmas program a little later than we used to have it in the seasons. We used to have it maybe a week or so before this. We used to run into a lot of storms. Some of you probably remember that. Some of you were very faithful and came through some of those storms to hear us. The other thing, and maybe that's not a good thing, is that it gives time to make sure that Uncle Gundvald's letter gets here. Because you see, if it didn't, I'd have to make it up. And you wouldn't want me to do that. That would be a fraud of some kind. This year he writes, "Dear nephew, that it's just about the end of another year, and I didn't get down to Minneapolis to visit you. It used to be easier years ago when I could come down on a train. You probably remember me telling one time how I met this woman on the train who had this biggest diamond ring I ever saw. And I says, 'Excuse me, that is a big diamond ring.' Yeah, she says, 'You know, that's the famous Peterson diamond. It comes with a curse.' Oh, I said, 'What's the curse?' 'Mr. Peterson,' she said. I used to have some trouble with the conductors on those trains. One time, one of them comes up to me and he says, 'There's no smoking in this car.' And I said, 'I ain't smoking.' He says, 'Yeah, but you got your pipe in your mouth.' 'Yeah, sure,' I said. 'I also got my shoes on my feet, but I ain't walking, I'm riding on your train.'" But you know, things are always interesting around here. When you know that we're not as backwards as you might think. I lost my place here. Oldie has actually got more up to date than most of us. He got one of those newfangled cell phones. And he was driving out on the freeway one day. And he decides to call Lena on his new cell phone. He says, "Hello, Lena. This is Oldie calling from the freeway on my new cell phone." "Oh, Oldie," she says, "you be careful out there. The radio says there's some nut driving the wrong way on the freeway." He says, "The radio's wrong. There's not one nut, there's hundreds of them." Not long ago, Oldie put a sign up out in his backyard that said, "Boat for sale." So I went over to see what that was, and I didn't see any boat. All I saw was an old lawnmower and a combine. "Oldie," I says, "you say you got a boat for sale, and there's just this lawnmower and an old combine." "Yeah," he says, "and they're both for sale." He and Sven one day last summer heard that there was the county was looking for people to put in telephone poles. So they decided to go try for that job. Well, the foreman says, "I tell you what, we got a couple of Irishmen who are interested in the job too. We're going to send you 2 crews out. And whichever one puts in the most poles will get the job." So off they went. And at the end of the day, here come the Irishmen. And the foreman says, "How many poles did you put in?" And they said, 11. So pretty soon here come Oldie and Sven. "And how many poles did you put in?" 3. "Well," he said, "you know, these Irishmen put in 11. "Yeah, well," he said, "I know. But you should have seen how much of it they left sticking up above the ground." In closing, I'd like to tell you the latest about the Larson brothers. They're always getting in trouble with the law. They got arrested over in Park Rapids. And the judge assigned them to community service. Well, I didn't know what kind of community service those 2 guys would do. So I drove over there to see if I could spot them. And sure enough, I saw them on a street, and it looked like they were actually working. They both had shovels. And Lars Larson, well, I watched Lars Larson dug a hole. And then his brother Olaf came along with his shovel and filled it in. So then he went a little farther, and the same thing. Lars dug a hole, and Olaf came and filled it in. They did that all the way down to the end of the block. And they were going to cross over to the other side of the street, and I couldn't stand it anymore. I got out of the truck. I says, hey, you guys, what's going on? One of you digs a hole and the other fills it in? Well, Lars says, I know that looks kind of strange, but we are usually a three-man crew. And the guy who plants the trees called in sick today. Well, that's all the news. I wish a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you and yours, Uncle Gundvald.